Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here on a Wednesday morning, yeah, kind of odd, but we're here with the Smackdown live review from last night. Had some computer issues. Computer started having a mind of its own, saying, "Hey, I want to do an update." So it started restarting itself and updating. And I thought it was back on, and then it restarted for another update. And so yeah, we just decided come live today, first thing in the morning. Got Nick here with me. Woke him out of bed. Nick, what's going on?
You dragged me out of goddamn bed. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I don't usually wake up at 8 in the morning to do shows, but glad to be here.
I mean, if anybody in
And
the
doing
chat
another
remembers,
show.
back in the day, we used to do 9 a.m. Friday morning shows. We did that for like 3-4 months.
You and I or just you?
No, well, this is
I was
before
gonna
you.
say. I was gonna say, dude. I
Well,
don't
because
remember. I don't wake up at 9 o'clock on Fridays.
no, well, I was doing them, and then summer hit. Kids were home on Friday morning, so I had to stop doing them. And then, like maybe a month later, is when you joined up and we started doing the Wednesday night show.
Gotcha. So
All
let's go
right,
ahead and kick off SmackDown here.
so you want to just run through it and talk about the switches and the shakeups as they happen, or you want me to run down the whole list first?
We'll talk about
Gotcha, I
them
got you.
when they happen, and then we'll do a full recap at the end with all the
All right.
names.
So the show started off with a recap of what happened last week with Shinsuke Nakamura interfering in the AJ Styles Daniel Bryan match. Tom Phillips then said they're here in front of a sold-out crowd. AJ Styles opened up the show, loud chants for AJ. He said we can find out a lot about a man through his failures, and we now know a lot about Shinsuke Nakamura. Styles said that he was successful at WrestleMania while Nakamura failed. He said Nakamura wasn't just an artist, he was a con artist, and the crowd loudly chanted for AJ. Styles.
Hey,
Huh?
could you fix your cable a little bit? You sound like you're in a tin can.
I don't hear it. I don't know.
That's weird.
All right.
That's really weird. Good?
Styles said that he wanted to celebrate with all of his fans, but he thinks he wanted to get retribution instead. He also said that he got a chance to have a real dream match last week with Daniel Bryan, but Nakamura ruined it. Styles wasn't leaving the ring until Nakamura came out. He said Nakamura may have forgotten how to speak English, but he hasn't forgotten how to fight. Maybe he's just a two-faced coward. And that is when Aiden English and Rusev came out. Crowd went nuts for Rusev, chanting Rusev Day, and you couldn't tell they were really, really trying to push Rusev as a heel here.
Yeah, so I guess he's back.
He was never gone.
Well, you know what I mean. Back in the sense of, like, no one really understood what the hell was going on.
I don't think anybody still understands what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, same.
So, Aiden English sang a song to let Styles know that Nakamura wasn't here and that Rusev would fight him instead. Match was accepted. Match only went about 30 seconds. AJ had the calf crusher on before Aiden English broke it up and disqualification.
Hold on, guest student. This is the polar fucking opposite of what you think.
Why so late?
It's fucking 9 a.m., fellas.
Why
If
so
this
early?
is late, if this is late to you,
Well, hey, guest student, are you in America? We don't know. Maybe he's in a different country and it is late for him.
I don't know, man. It's 9 in the morning, but let's go ahead and keep talking here. I love fucking
So, where was it?
Hi, Dean Ambrose fan. How you doing?
So, match ended in disqualification when Aiden English got involved. Daniel Bryan came down for the save, and they sent the heels packing. We then saw Shane McMahon backstage, and he's watching this, and Paige walks up, wished him a happy shakeup. She then says, and I quote, "You know what? In the immortal words of Teddy Long, let's have a tag match, playa."
Yeah, you know what's weird to me? Why the fuck is he still being mentioned?
Because he was
Like,
the
why is that
longest
a
reigning
thing?
SmackDown GM.
Right, but okay, that shouldn't be something you should brag about. You should never have to brag about being good at your fucking job, so they kept you. That's like saying I'm the longest reigning employee at my job. Yeah, because I'm good and they didn't fucking fire me yet. Man, everyone's telling us what time it is where they live. It's noon for everyone. Go get lunch, guys.
All right. So they made the match. It would be Rusev and Aiden English taking on AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan in the main event. Paige then said, holla, and did the little Teddy Long shuffle. And then all of a sudden, she walks off of frame. You look back at Shane, and he starts doing the Teddy Long shuffle. Paige walks back in like she's going to tell him something and kind of gets weirded out and goes, yeah, never mind, and leaves. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
I probably will.
I think that was the only time we saw Shane and Paige throughout the show. I could be wrong, but it's all I remember of them.
Yeah, sorry, I was mid-yawn. Yes.
All right. So Shelton Benjamin came out. He's turned heel. They showed a tweet from his Twitter account the night before saying that he was happy for Chad Gable and this and that. And he goes, you know what? My Twitter was hacked because I don't believe any of that. I don't need Chad Gable. I never needed Chad Gable. And now I want to prove what I can do on my own. He said that he asked Paige for competition. And this is where things got a little awkward and weird.
Well, hold on. Before you talk about who the match was, I like the idea of him going, my Twitter was hacked. But then at the same time, I'm thinking about the same person that hacked his Twitter, put a fucking gun in his rental car. They're just fucking with him.
All right. So he says that he won a competition. Paige is going to send him a top-level talent to face. And then out comes Randy Orton. So I'm like, ooh, this can be interesting. Randy walks down the ramp. He gets to the end of the ramp and then stops. And you're like, okay, he's just soaking things in for a second. And then all of a sudden, Jeff Hardy's music hits. So why the hell did Randy Orton have to come out for Jeff Hardy to come out? Just to get his 15 seconds of fame on TV?
I guess.
It was very weird because we never saw anything
probably
else
part
of
of his
Randy Orton.
contract. Part of his contract, I guess. Did you know that like 10 years ago, Shelton Benjamin and Jeff Hardy fought for the U.S. title on Smackdown?
Yes.
Just a
I was
weird
about to
thought.
get to that. They had a lot of good matches over the U.S. and IC title.
Yeah. Both those guys. It's just, it's like... Someone had posted something on Instagram. It was just a video where you saw Orton, Hardy, and Benjamin. It's like, what fucking year is it, dog? It's just weird.
Exactly. All right, so they come down, have a non-title match. Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin. Really good 8.5-minute match. Half of it was during the commercial, but they did the picture-in-picture, so you still could watch the match.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like the picture-in-picture mode.
Why not?
It kind of takes it out for me.
So you'd rather not see anything?
Yeah, just give me a commercial, or just, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Put Smackdown on the fucking network.
But if we didn't have the picture-in-picture, we wouldn't have known when we came back from commercial why Jeff Hardy was limping, and that's because throughout the entire commercial, Shelton Benjamin worked over his knee.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess that's the job of the commentators to say, hey, during the commercial, Shelton Benjamin really worked that knee of Jeff Hardy. So I guess they see it either way.
Exactly.
So, like I said, Shelton Benjamin worked over the knee of Jeff Hardy a lot in the match. Jeff Hardy would try to go for some high-impact moves, and the knee would give out a couple times until finally he hit a whisper in the wind. Twist of fate, Swanton Bomb, defeated Shelton Benjamin. Both men looked really, really good in this match, and Jeff Hardy is now on SmackDown, and the U.S. title is on SmackDown. But I have something that could happen at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Hear me out.
I think I know what you might be getting at.
So what if they still want to switch the IC and the U.S. title? Here's how they can do it. Jinder defeats Jeff Hardy, bringing the U.S. title to Raw. Then we have the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. If either Joe or The Miz can win that ladder match, the IC title would come to SmackDown.
Man, you got a really good point, but here's the thing. Do you really want to bounce that fucking title around so much? It already means nothing.
True, but it just depends on if they want to switch the titles to the opposite brands, because they still have that mentality of we want to make The Miz the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. If you want to do that, then he needs to win the title at least one more time to tie Chris Jericho's record of 9.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, Miz did recently just sign the new 3 or 4 year contract, so we could always go back to Raw next year. But the thing is, like, why not just switch him over now? I mean, Joe, I don't know.
It's really confusing.
It's a possibility, but I don't think it's likely.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I guess Jeff Hardy's DUI doesn't matter to the WWE either. His second match back, and he's a champion.
Exactly.
All right. So then we had the Melibration.
It was dumb.
Oh wait, no, that was later in the night. I scrolled down way too far. I scrolled down way too far. All right. We had a selfie promo from The Miz saying that, you know, he would have liked to be there, but he didn't want to really be there, so he went home to L.A. instead. And it was the first time we saw his baby, Monroe Sky. Maurice was there with him. He just said that he would be re-debuting on SmackDown next week. And then he asked the crowd if they really wanted to see Daniel Bryan punch him in the face.
Yeah? You just stop?
Huh?
You just stop talking.
I thought you were going to say something about it, but I guess not. All right.
If I do, I would speak up.
They then announced that Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are coming to SmackDown.
I said it last night. I said it would happen.
Yeah, I mean, when Riot Squad moved over, it was kind of inevitable.
You shut your damn mouth. You shot me down so hard when I said it.
Oh, I know, but it makes sense.
It just made sense to move them. And the only thing now is that it's just, if they go with the storyline that I assume they would go with, and that
thing?
Yes, it would just be too much with what just happened.
Exactly, like you said on Monday, it would be too much parody of the Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon.
Exactly.
Or Sami Zayn. All right. So then,
as long as they got something to
do. So then we had Harper versus Jey Uso. Match was like 50 seconds, maybe a minute at that. Jimmy Uso and Rowan got involved on the outside, and the match ended quickly after Harper hit Jey with the discus clothesline for the win. Rowan blatantly put his hands on Jey during the match, but the referee didn't do anything. The Usos tried to fight back against the Bludgeon Brothers, but they were no match. They were about to get killed when all of a sudden you hear some woman start screaming. They pan over to the ramp, and it's Naomi.
I thought it was Paige's theme song starting. I was confused.
Oh, Lord. It was Naomi running down, crying, yelling, "Stop, please don't hurt him. Please stop, stop." So it's like, could you make him look any more of a geek where his wife had to come down to save him?
I mean, either make him look like a geek or make them look like the strongest motherfuckers on the planet with the Bludgeon Brothers.
If this was 1998 instead of 2018, they would have fucking probably put Naomi through a table or something.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the first thing I was thinking. I was like, oh, this would make them the biggest fucking heel team if this was the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Mae Young went through a table.
I'm just saying, like, they want to make the Bludgeon Brothers the most brutal tag team they have, but unfortunately they can't touch women. Like, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying,
we should just move on.
All right. You know where I'm trying to get at, though. So Sin Cara was in the ring after a commercial. They didn't know who his opponent was going to be, and then out comes the biggest mover in the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Probably the biggest move overall.
Oh, yeah. Match was about 2 minutes long. Joe
literally murdered Sin Cara. I felt very
brutally
bad. Feel bad that Sin Cara just shows up to get killed. But hey, he's getting paid. And I'm sure he's not complaining.
Joe beat him with a Coquina clutch. After the match, Joe cut a very, very good promo.
Shocking.
Saying that SmackDown Live thinks they're the land of opportunity, but it's really the land of handouts. Everybody here on SmackDown thinks they're good, thinks they're great, but they're not. They're just told they are. He said that he said that now he has the opportunity to put Daniel Bryan to sleep, defang the Viper Randy Orton, and decimate AJ Styles.
I'm excited.
Joe then said, at the Greatest Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar will beat Roman Reigns, and then Joe will go on to Backlash and destroy the big dog, putting him out to pasture. He said that he will then go to the Greatest Royal Rumble and win the ladder match and become the Intercontinental Champion. He said if for some miraculous reason Roman Reigns is able to defeat Brock Lesnar at the Greatest Royal Rumble, then Backlash will be his big night where he takes the Universal Championship right from around the waist of Roman Reigns and will bring the Intercontinental and the Universal title to SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought WWE had told us there's never been a dual IC and world champ.
Warrior?
Exactly.
What do you mean they said they've never been?
Like, they've never admitted to it. They never say it.
Triple H.
But they never say that, which I find weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's never really been a reason to.
Because when Rollins was the double champ with the U.S. belt...
Because that was the first time with the U.S. belt, not the IC.
Oh, you know what? Might have been.
It's because it was the first time with the U.S.
Ooh, Steve Lansky says Pro Wrestling Limited is trash. That's why you fucking showed up, buddy.
Sure.
Anyway,
Bye.
let's continue. That show.
All right. So then we got
Joe comes out and murders. I mean, it's
So
what
then
Joe does.
Sure. Yeah. So then we got a video package saying that Sanity is coming to SmackDown. And I want to jump a little bit forward here on the Sanity thing for just a quick second. So you would think if Sanity's coming to SmackDown, it's Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, Nikki Cross.
Nope.
You'd be wrong. Apparently, when they showed the graphic of who's actually coming, they showed Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, no Nikki Cross. So apparently, they need Nikki Cross to stay in NXT because they need heel women. Hopefully.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's really not a big deal that Nikki Cross didn't come up with them. NXT cannot lose a lot of their star women, and I understand that they have a lot of talent down there, but they have a lot of talent that A, Full Sail doesn't really know, and B, isn't exactly over with the crowd yet. The way you get these talents over with the crowd is working with people like Nikki Cross. So if she stays down there for just a little bit longer, does her thing, she's not going to win any titles, she's not going to put on any 5-star matches, but she's going to be down there to help the new women coming up. So when all the eventual NXT women are on the main roster, these ones that are there now don't get the cold shoulder from the fans, don't get no reactions. They're going to get reactions, and they're going to be more noticeable names because that's who they're going to be seeing often. Remember when Bayley left? That was rough, dude.
A little bit, yeah.
So now with Ember leaving, that's fucking rough right there because she was there. She was a big name.
Now think about this though. The brawls they can have with Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler.
There you go.
We can have some good, just some brawls of matches. So,
just need to keep Nikki down there.
Yeah. So I mean, people were upset that there's no Nikki Cross, but I mean, you have to look at it as far as what's best for NXT. Can you just bring everybody up at once? No, because like Nick said, then you lose your star power, and then you got matches where people don't really care about the people in the match. As long as you have one person that people know and care about, the match can at least be decent.
Right. Tyson's number one says, though they have Nix and Newell, okay, that's fine. How many other people that aren't hardcore wrestling fans that watch WCPW know who Nix and Newell is?
Exactly. Like, think about this. She was signed to the WWE for the Mae Young Classic. She got hurt before the Mae Young Classic, has never competed for NXT before last weekend at a house show. She's never debuted at Full Sail. She's never been seen in front of the NXT crowd as far as on TV or the mainstays of the fan base. No one knows who she is unless, like you said, you're a hardcore indie fan.
And don't get me wrong, I love Nixon Newell.
Oh,
I think she's a great wrestler. She's the best, but not a lot of people are going to know that name unless they watch WCW.
I mean, it's like, think about how many names did you really know going into the Mae Young Classic? You know what I
mean? A handful, maybe.
Yeah.
Personally, because I did watch a lot of independents at that time.
But I mean, the normal NXT watcher that just watches WWE programming, they're not gonna. They probably didn't know just throw out a couple of names. Like they may have known Candice LeRae just because she's big in the United States, but they may not have known guys or girls like Dakota Kai, Mercedes Martinez, and
I love Dakota Kai.
So,
I love Dakota Kai. I'll touch on it for a minute just because I kind of can. It's the same thing with Cassius Ohno. He's kind of the gatekeeper of NXT, and I think he's pretty content with his role. He's gonna get wins here and there, and he's not garbage. He's fucking fantastic. Probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. Probably one of the strongest wrestlers in the world. Dude is insane, but he's the kind of guy that's gonna stay in NXT. He's going to work with all the new guys. He's gonna help them. And he's gonna be a main name in NXT, mostly because when you have people filing through the system, you're gonna need a couple mainstay guys. So there you go.
All right. So then we had the Melibration. Carmella came out and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Like they chant that every time somebody wins the title for the first time. It kind of has no meaning anymore to me.
Did she fucking deserve it?
Sure. Because
No.
James Ellsworth won the Money in the Bank for her.
True.
All right, so the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." She bragged about beating Charlotte Flair, who she called one of the greatest women wrestlers in WWE history. Some fans cheered for that. Some kind of was just dead for that. She said last
Yeah.
week. She said last week wasn't just one of the biggest moments in history of the women's evolution. It was one of the, but in women's history in general. They then played a video package where they kept saying "all about me" in the video package. Like I guess the song that played in the background kind of made me think, oh, is that a shot at Emma?
Yeah, I'd have to think it would have to be a shot at Emma.
Because last week, after Carmella won the title, they interviewed her and they were like, she was like, "I just want to thank me, myself. It's just me." So it's like, really?
Yeah, and I bet they're doing it because she's fucking successful in the indies.
So Charlotte comes out. Charlotte said that Carmella only has the briefcase because of that chinless freak, and she only has the title because of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Charlotte wasn't mad because she knew the dirtiest player in the game and congratulated Carmella for capitalizing on her opportunity. And that is when the IIconics came out. Billie Kay, Peyton Royce. Royce did her impressive Charlotte impression. They said last week's moment would last forever, and it was all because of them. They called themselves the Future Icons. Charlotte went after them, but they beat her up, and that's when Becky came out for the save. They ended up making a match, Charlotte Flair versus Billie Kay. Match probably went about almost 10 minutes.
God, give Billy the fucking title.
Who, Billie Kay?
Let them fucking lay cool the title. I don't give a shit. I just want them as
Lord.
champions. I want them as champions, and I want it now, and I want it forever. Then
I mean,
now
they're
forever.
great together.
They're fucking fantastic. They're both amazingly good wrestlers that were just no one really knew who they were.
Right.
And then they teamed up, and it's like, okay, they're decent. And then their mic work is just fucking incredible. Give Billie Kay, let them lay cool the title, split it in half. I don't care. I don't care. I love Billie Kay. She's so good.
Yeah. Even though most fans would say, so you say Billie Kay is the standout of the two.
Okay, well, let's not go that fucking far.
You think Peyton Royce is the standout?
I'd say standout. I'd have to go with Royce just because her finishing move is pretty sweet.
Very true.
They just gave Billie Kay the Enzo finisher move.
Yeah.
It's the eat defeat.
Well, I mean, it was Gail Kim's even before Enzo did it.
Exactly, but
all right, so
the IIconics are fantastic.
So they had this match with Charlotte Flair, Billie Kay. Carmella was on commentary. Kay, Royce, and Carmella then, after the match, attacked Charlotte and Becky Lynch. When Asuka came out to make the save, Asuka gave Royce a very violent German suplex. Kay received a kick from Lynch, a chop from Charlotte, and a high kick from Asuka. We then got the news that the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, have been moved over to SmackDown. After that, we then learned that The Bar has moved over to SmackDown. They did a selfie promo talking about how they've run through every tag team on Raw, which is true. Mm-hmm. That they always get the question, how would you guys fare against the tag teams in SmackDown? And now we're going to find out. Then a weird promo backstage. You have the New Day walking backstage, and they stop.
Extremely weird.
And they go, "The Immortal One!" And I'm like, no. And the camera pans over, and it's R-Truth.
What did you think it was?
I was like, I thought it was going to be some sort of like someone wearing a Hulk Hogan shirt or some kind of Hulk Hogan reference kind of thing. Somebody looking like, dressed up as, or something. I didn't think it would be Hogan, but I didn't think it was going to be R-Truth.
Gotcha.
So, where was I? R-Truth was there. They were all like, buddy, and then Ty Dillinger walks up. And him and Truth just stare at each other. Is there history between R-Truth and Ty Dillinger?
I don't know.
I don't either. And then I think it was Xavier goes, "Do you guys know each other?" Because they're just staring at each other intently. And then all of a sudden they do like the
you know what?
What?
TNA, I believe.
Dillinger was in TNA? Not that I can
No,
remember.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant
No.
Weird. Okay.
No, Xavier asked if they knew each other.
I got you.
And so they were staring at each other, and all of a sudden they did like the third grade hand clap game. Start spinning around in circles, and then Truth goes, "It's so great to be here on Monday Night Raw." And they all look at him like, "You dumb shit." And they go, "Truth, it's Tuesday. This is Smackdown." And he goes, "Oh, my bad. See y'all tomorrow," and walks off. It's like, okay, cool.
That's fucking weird.
So then they were running down the list of who's come to SmackDown since last week. You know, the IIconics, Jeff Hardy, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, so-and-so. And then they go, but now we have one big one, one final one. And it's Andrade Almas.
Yeah, that was fucking huge.
Zelina Vega starts off the cell phone promo saying that she's the representative for Andrade Almas. She says that El Idolo is coming to SmackDown. He then gets on camera and says that he's coming to SmackDown, then starts saying some stuff in Spanish that I didn't know what he was saying.
Oh, he said, I don't know, I'll speak Spanish anymore.
Yeah, I'm excited. I thought,
God.
I thought that they should have kept him in NXT just a little bit longer because there could have been something good there if they did an actual, like, full-fledged Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, Andrade Almas, Zelina Vega feud. Spoiler alert, I know they do Zelina Vega versus Candice LeRae within the next couple of weeks, and Almas and Gargano do get involved, but I thought there could have been legs on an actual feud there, not just a match.
No, because I think you've already seen Gargano Almas so many fucking times. It's like, I don't want this again. I'm sorry.
But it would be different if it was more focused on the women.
Doesn't do that. NXT doesn't do that though.
Do what?
They never go back to do stuff for another reason.
They do in the next couple of weeks, as far as the tapings go.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They did. It was Candice versus.
On, let's try to dance. Well, they didn't really. Because I don't think that's going to be a feud.
No, it's not, but it could have been. It could have been if this time it was more focused on the women. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I got you saying.
God dang, can't get rid of this cough. All right. So then we had the main event. Oh, they plugged that Rusev. So here's something weird. Corey Graves goes, "Tom, now that the modern-day Maharaja is no longer on SmackDown and moved to Raw, Rusev Day is back and he's taking on The Undertaker." So the only reason Rusev's getting the match with Taker is because Jinder moved to Raw? Fucking Corey Graves.
Oh, if that's the kayfabe fucking reason, I'm with it.
I don't even know. When was Jinder even involved in all of this?
Dude, I don't know, man. He wants the Brock treatment. He probably got mad.
I don't even know. Anyways, then we had the main event. It was AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan versus Aiden English and Rusev. Early on, Styles tried a calf crusher on English, and Bryan tried the yes lock on Rusev, but both heels escaped the ring, leading to a commercial break. Heels worked over Styles after the break until a Pele kick on English and made the hot tag to Daniel Bryan. Bryan ran wild on Rusev with fists, clotheslines, corner drop kicks. He went for the yes lock, but Aiden English broke it up. Bryan sent him out of the ring and gave yes kicks to Rusev. Bryan nailed Rusev with a running knee, seemingly to set up the win. However, we then see, out of nowhere, kind of just all of a sudden pops up, Nakamura hits another low blow on AJ Styles. But this was more awkward than the rest because he just stood there with his arm up in AJ's balls for like 30 to 45 seconds.
It was a little weird. Weird.
AJ's just standing there, got his hands still on the ropes, kind of like trying to hold himself up. And then all of a sudden, Big Cass runs in and big boots Daniel Bryan. Now here's where my theory on why this may be happening with Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. What?
Is it because of the guy mowing the lawn outside?
Yeah, fuck these guys. We're almost done. All what right. If Big Cass was sent here by The Miz?
No.
You don't think they would align these motherfuckers outside? You don't think they would align Big Cass and The Miz? Miz always needs himself a henchman.
No.
No?
No.
It would be be a good way to actually get people invested because right now, who's really interested in Cass being a main event guy?
He's not gonna be a main event guy.
He might.
No, he won't. He's not. I told you what they're doing. I told you exactly what they're doing.
Think about this.
They needed a way for people to remember, oh fuck, that's right, Big Cass, he was pretty important. So they put him in this feud for I don't know, until it's over, so however long it lasts, couple weeks. And once it's over, he's gonna be in the mid card and he's gonna get that rub because he was up there with Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, The Miz, Rusev, all them.
Think about this though. Before Cass got injured and he was going to be done with that Enzo feud, they were going to push him as one of the more, top tier, not main event guys, but upper mid card guys on Raw. Also remember, when Owens won the Universal title, Cass was in that match. So they've always seen something in Big Cass as a top guy, possible top guy.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't think it's going to happen right away.
I think you pair him with The Miz, and that way he can get that Miz heel heat on him. He could be a true heel because of it. And Miz always needs himself a henchman.
Is he still called Big Cass?
That's what they called him. I don't know if they call him Big Cass or Cass, but I did hear him say a Cass, at least.
See, here's the thing, though. It's just the dude just got out of a fucking tag team.
But he's not going to be. It won't be a tag team. He will be.
Right, if he's just going to be a fucking henchman, I mean, he was basically fucking Enzo's henchman.
I mean, I guess they're kind of maybe doing the same thing with Dolph and Drew McIntyre, but I was going to say he could be the Diesel to Mrs. Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? Where whenever Shawn Michaels would get in a pickle, Diesel would just walk right in front of him and be like, I got this.
Yeah, but that's basically what they're doing with McIntyre and...
Possibly. We don't know. I think they may be more of an actual tag team, though.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes just because I did miss Cass. I think Cass brought something that was just very interesting. I love him on the microphone. I think he's great.
I thought it was funny. I kind of actually forgot to mention this earlier. The first time we actually saw Cass on Smackdown, they were interviewing Daniel Bryan backstage, and all of a sudden some big tall guy, we don't see who it is because you only see his chest. In Daniel Bryan. His chest was in Daniel Bryan's face, and you're like, who is this? Because you don't see
Hogan.
You don't see his trunks. You don't see anything above his, he's just belly and chest. And the camera pans out, and it's Cass. And Cass is just looking straight. And then he puts his arm out to measure his height with Daniel Bryan's height. And there's no height to measure. So his hand goes down on Bryan's head, and he goes, You're what all the big fuss is about? Little man? And then walks off.
Yeah, I didn't really like the little man line. It was weird. He did get a good pop, so I give him that.
So, yep, that was SmackDown. Those are everybody that's moved over from Raw and NXT. I think the biggest move of the entire Superstar Shakeup has to be Samoa Joe. Jeff Hardy's another big one. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I really am too. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the early morning show. I've been Nick. You could follow me on Twitter at PW_Armstrong and Twitch at ArmWeek21 because I've been playing a ton of fucking Fortnite over there.
How do you like the new update on Fortnite?
With the fucking Port-a-Fort thing?
Yeah, I haven't played it yet since then.
I was mad at first, and then I got to use it, and then I used it yesterday in a match, and I came in fucking 7th in that match. I was like, this thing's it's useful, and I really like the replay feature because it looks real.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. If that would be something that would be easily utilized.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah! If you need to make some cool thumbnails, dude,
nice.
The replay feature is fantastic.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you can free cam on any part of the map.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so you don't have to spectate yourself. You could spectate anyone in the game, or you could just roam around the entire map.
Dang.
It's really nifty.
Anyways,
you can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited or right here on YouTube, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Be sure to subscribe, hit that little notify bell because sometimes notifications don't go out. And on the Instagrams, Tim, do your thing.
All right, so you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And also go check out Fightful.com if you love pro wrestling, MMA, or boxing. They have all of your news right there. If you want to find them on Twitter, they are Fightful Wrestling and Fightful Online. Have a good day, guys. We will see you tonight at the normal time, hopefully, for the PW Unlimited podcast. Have a good night, guys, or good day. Whew.
9 o'clock.